Microscopes did not exist that could make the type of detailed observations that are seen in the Voynich manuscript. It wasn't until the early 17th century where we would be able to see the types of things which seem to be reflected in these images.
I think that is very good about Voynich, that it exists. Somebody created an artificial language and wrote that Voynich manuscript in that language.
Deep in the earth, hidden for thousands of years, there are discoveries that completely baffle our greatest minds. Ancient objects with purposes we still can't figure out.
Roman dodecahedron is remarkable and unusual because there's not many more than 100 known to exist.
Massive structures built with tools that shouldn't exist. Codes no one can crack. These aren't stories for movies. They're real mysteries that continue to challenge everything we thought we knew about our past. Today, we're diving into 10 discoveries that remain unexplained.
Around the outside of the stone circle is constructed a ditch and embankment. This is the so-called henge structure.
In southern Turkey, there's a place called Göbekli Tepe. This site is more than 11,000 years old, making it twice as old as Stonehenge. Massive T-shaped limestone columns stand up to 18 feet tall and weigh as much as 50 tons each. These pillars feature detailed carvings of wild animals like lions, foxes, and birds. Here's the puzzle. This was built by hunter-gatherers before farming even existed, using only stone hammers and flint blades. No one knows its true purpose. Was it a temple, an astronomical observatory? The biggest mystery? After centuries of use, ancient people carefully buried the entire site with earth and debris. Why build something so magnificent just to hide it forever?
And then if we look at them, they're covered in these engravings. So this is a fox.
Stonehenge has been puzzling people for over 4,600 years. These massive stones, some weighing 25 tons, form a mysterious circle on England's Salisbury Plain. Recent discoveries made this even stranger. The central altar stone traveled over 450 miles from Scotland to England before the wheel was even invented. That's a 12,000-pound rock moved hundreds of miles with ancient tools. The site perfectly aligns with the summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset. Some believe it was a temple. Others think it was a giant calendar or healing center.
Later researchers have noted that the number of stones correspond loosely with a 30-day month, and certain stones could mark the start of 3 10-day weeks. This is probably the most popular theory on why Stonehenge was built.
Recent theories suggest it served to unify ancient British tribes, but after thousands of years of study, we still can't say for certain what Stonehenge was really for.
Such a sacred place in life would also be sacred in death. So now, it's a calendar, a holy gathering place, a shared construction project between two cultures, and a cemetery.
Deep in Peru's desert, over 700 giant drawings cover more than 50 square kilometers of land. Created between 500 BC and 500 AD, these aren't small sketches. There are massive images of a hummingbird, spider, monkey, and condor stretching hundreds of feet across the sand. Here's what's strange. You can't see them from the ground. They're only visible from high in the air. The ancient Nazca people created these enormous artworks centuries before flight existed. In 2024, artificial intelligence discovered 303 more previously unknown drawings. Were they messages to the gods? Astronomical calendars, ritual pathways for rain ceremonies. The lines have survived for over 2,000 years, but their true purpose remains a mystery. In 1901, divers found something impossible in an ancient Greek shipwreck, a 2,100-year-old device with 30 bronze gears that could predict eclipses, track planetary movements, and calculate astronomical events decades in advance. Scientists call it the world's first computer. This level of technology shouldn't exist in ancient Greece. No other device this complex appears again for over 1,000 years, until medieval clocks. It could model the irregular orbit of the moon and track the Olympic Games cycle. The craftsmanship is incredible, with gear teeth just 1 millimeter long. Who built it? Was it connected to Archimedes? We may never know. It's a glimpse of lost ancient technology that challenges everything we thought we knew. On a remote Pacific island, nearly 1,000 giant stone heads stare inland. The Moai statues were carved between 1250 and 1500 AD. Each weighs about 12.5 tons and stands around 13 feet tall. For decades, people wondered how ancient islanders moved these massive statues across the island. Recent experiments solved part of the mystery. With just 18 people and some rope, researchers made a replica statue walk by rocking it side to side. The statues were designed with a special forward lean and D-shaped base that made this possible. But mysteries remain. Why did the Rapa Nui people create so many? What drove them to carve nearly 1,000 of these massive monuments? The full story is still unknown.
What is really incredible is to think that statues were moved kilometers out of the quarry.
Over 100 strange 12-sided bronze objects have been found across Europe, and nobody knows what they are. These Roman dodecahedrons date back to the 2nd to 4th century AD. Each has 12 pentagon faces with holes of different sizes and small knobs at every corner. They're hollow, carefully crafted, and clearly took serious skill to make. Here's the mystery. There's not a single mention of them in any Roman text. No images in ancient art. They've been found in graves, treasure hoards, military camps, and even trash heaps. Were they weapons, measuring tools, religious objects, children's toys, candle holders? Over 50 theories exist, but none proven. These costly, complex objects were important enough to bury with the dead, yet we have no idea why.
Popular theories is that it had a more mystical function. Perhaps it was used in divination or sorcery or fortune-telling. Some historians wonder whether these objects were used for forbidden rituals.
In 1912, a rare book dealer acquired what would become the world's most mysterious book. The Voynich manuscript contains 234 pages of text in a completely unknown language, written between 1404 and 1438. The pages show strange drawings of unidentified plants, naked women in bizarre baths, and astronomical diagrams. The text has over 170,000 characters that follow patterns like real language, but nobody can read it. Expert code breakers from both world wars tried and failed. 5 different scribes worked on it. Some think it's Hebrew or Arabic in disguise. Others believe it's an elaborate hoax with no real meaning. The manuscript sits in Yale University, still guarding its secrets after 600 years. Will we ever crack the code?
I believe that we will be able to read these manuscripts because of new technologies, new techniques that our predecessors didn't have access to.
One of history's most famous women has a tomb that nobody can find. Cleopatra VII, Egypt's last queen, died in 30 BC after her defeat at the Battle of Actium. Ancient records say she was buried with Mark Antony, but the location has been lost to time. Some believe the tomb was in Alexandria, Egypt's ancient capital, and was destroyed by a massive tsunami in 365 AD. Others think it's hidden somewhere in the Nile Delta, possibly in a temple dedicated to Egyptian gods. Archaeologists have searched for decades with no success. The tomb of one of the ancient world's most powerful rulers could contain priceless treasures and historical secrets, but it remains one of archaeology's greatest missing pieces, lost somewhere beneath the Egyptian sand. In 2024, scientists made an incredible announcement. A painted scene found in a cave on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi is at least 51,200 years old, making it the world's oldest known cave art. The painting shows people hunting pig-like animals. This discovery changes everything we thought about early humans. It pushes back the timeline of when humans first created art by thousands of years. The artists who painted this lived during the Ice Age, yet they had the creativity and skill to tell stories through pictures. What other ancient art is still hidden in undiscovered caves? How much earlier did humans start creating art? Every new discovery seems to push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. In 2024, archaeologists made a stunning discovery beneath Petra's famous treasury in Jordan. They found 12 ancient skeletons in a hidden tomb carved into the red sandstone cliffs about 2,000 years ago. The treasury's elaborate facade is one of archaeology's most iconic structures. Most visitors don't realize the dramatic building front is actually a tomb carved into solid rock by the Nabatean people. These ancient nomads created an entire city in the desert with sophisticated water systems. The newly discovered skeletons could reveal secrets about these vanished people. Who were they? Why were they buried beneath this specific monument? The discovery proves that even well-studied sites still hold hidden secrets waiting to be found beneath our feet. These 10 mysteries remind us that history isn't a closed book. New technologies like artificial intelligence and advanced scanning are helping us discover more, but they're also revealing how much we still don't understand. Each answered question seems to create 2 more, and that's what makes archaeology so exciting. Somewhere out there, buried beneath sand or hidden in plain sight, the next great mystery is waiting to be discovered.